Hey there, y'all. This is Hades, and today we're going to be discussing, oh boy, Rings of Power, Season 2, Episode 4. Alright, just to be on the clear, I am not a massive Tolkien fan. I am a casual enjoyer. I've seen the movies, the extended editions, both Hobbits and Lord of the Rings. The only book I've ever read, Baron Luthien. Good read, go check it out. But yeah, I'm coming at this as a casual, so yeah, I'm just gonna be talking about things that I actually did enjoy and things I didn't enjoy, and well, you'll see that. All right, you saw the thumbnail, you know what you're getting into. All right, so let's just dive right in, shall we? First scene we see is a bunch of elf soldiers is marching at. I'm assuming it's Grey Havens. And I thought these were the elves that were gonna be like, all right, we're gonna go march to Celebrimbor and see what's going on, but no, it's just Elrond and Galadriel just marching on, and of course, Galadriel just has to be so freaking catty. It's so stupid because she's not in charge. She's not in charge, and she's pretty angry about that because she's leader of the Northern armies. Whatever. And Elrond just kind of puts her in her place right there and then. He's like, "Yeah, can you recommend two swordsmen and an archer?" And she's like, "Oh, you really think I could do that?" And he's like, "You, Galadriel, you better cut it out." And he should have gave her the good old Sean Connery, good old Sean Connery discipline. You know what I'm saying? And then eventually, they're like, "All right, fine." And then they go to a bridge. The bridge has been destroyed by a lightning. Okay, fine. Fine. I'm not gonna say that's really dumb or stupid. I mean, this is fantasy, and I don't know how in the world Sauron did this. As far as I'm aware, Sauron can't really control weather. He can only control like low-minded beast, and his he can shapeshift and also into a goop monster. But I guess I don't know I don't know if this was him. I legit don't know. Presumably it was him. Galadriel thinks so. Whatever. And of course they're like, all right, we gotta go around and find another way. And Galadriel's like, uh, no, we can't go through that another way because through the way that Elrond wants to go because it's very dangerous there. And Elrond's like, nah, it'll be fine. And then we cut to Gandalf, and he meets Tom Bombadil. Of course, Tom Bombadil doesn't introduce himself yet, but that's who it is, all right? And Galadriel. Gandalf's like, hey, have you seen some hobbits and oh, sorry, not hobbits, Harfoots, not hobbits. And Tom Bombadil's like, no, I haven't seen them around. And Gandalf's like, oh, hey, here's this paper. I mean, have you seen this constellation? And it flies away, and Gandalf goes chasing it. It steps into a tree, and Gandalf's like, wait, is this can this piece of wood be my staff? This random piece of wood on a tree be my staff? He tries tearing it off. The tree grabs Gandalf, sucks him in, and crushes him. And you see blood spurting out. Like, wow! All right, then let's turn into grisly sight. Like, okay, fine. I guess this wasn't Gandalf. All right. Then we cut to where the not hobbits are. And we see female Frodo getting up. And she's saying, Fat Hobbit, time to get up. And you go to her and you see her, she's taking a nap on a bush. I mean, what'd you expect from a fat hobbit? And then they get up, they see someone in the distance, they run, they fall down a hill. And I kid you not, when they come to a stop, when Fat Hobbit comes to a stop, like a massive dust shoots up into the sky. It was crazy. I legit got a good chuckle out of that. And then they meet Rufio, Black Rufio, and it's very weird because Rufio, hey, says, hey, I'm nobody, and fat Hobbit's like, well, you gotta have a name, and there's like a moment between them two, and I was like a female Frodo. I was kind of like, what the frick is going on here? And then they're like, all right, can you take us with you? And he's like, nah, no one's allowed into our village. And they're like, village? Like, I didn't say nothing. He starts running. And after Rufio explained himself to them, he told them their name, and female Sam said his name, introducing himself, And then they catch up to Rufio. She gets him. She says, "Here, nobody." I was like, "Dang!" Like, freak, that's messed up. Clearly, this guy doesn't have any friends. Clearly, everyone picks on him, you know. And yeah, Rufio, the opposite of Rufio from Hook. And he takes him to the village. Then he takes him to his mom, and of course, she's a black sassy hobbit. Again, the trope is just so boring, and it's not done well here at all whatsoever. It's like obvious, like that's obviously what I expected her thing to be is black sassy, and yes, that's exactly what we got here. And it's also weird later on what we get with her. Again, it's not the fault of this character, just the way that she's. Well, I say this character. I mean, yeah, she's written this way. You know, the actress is playing her is fine, but the way the writers did is like not great with her character. As we cut back to where the leopards are, they're telling uh not Sauron. They're like yeah not Gandalf summoned a tornado and killed like our men. It killed some of our men, and I was like, what? It killed some of your guys, but it didn't kill the not hobbits. Whatever. And then Sauron's like, all right, you guys are pretty brave or pretty stupid coming back to me. You guys focus on getting the not hobbits, and I'll go get me Gandalf on Gandalf. And then Tom Bombadil comes. He's like, all right, tree, open it up, and it spits out Gandalf, not Gandalf. And he's like, all right, time to take a bath. He goes, takes a bath. That scene was very necessary. And then he starts explaining, I'm Tom Bombadil. Well, no, this is how he first he says his name. I'm Bombadil. Tom Bombadil. Dun, 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 dun. I was like, okay, wow, ripping off James Bond there for a second. All right, why not? And then Gandalf goes to his home. And we don't see Goldberry. Gandalf does say, was there a woman here? And Tom Bombadil's like, wait, what are you talking about? Which was very odd to me. Anyway, and then Tom Bombadil's like, I was here, but the first rain hit the acorn. I was here long before, there was any mischievousness in the shadow. And as he looks at this camera and goes, and I was like, a bit on the nose here. From what limited knowledge I know of Lord of the Rings of Tom Bombadil, I'm like, come on. Like, like, it doesn't really make sense why Tom Bombadil saying this to Gandalf, not Gandalf. Because, like, yeah, he's obviously saying it for the meta, but like, why would you say this all for Gandalf? Because all he really tells Gandalf is like, I'm old, like I'm really old, like that's enough. But he says the other thing for meta and for meta purposes, which doesn't really fit in the story. But then there's this one that Gandalf's like, hey, can you teach me magic? He's like, what? Teach you magic? Then he like yawns or burps, and there's like not volcano. Excuse me, that's Mordor. Um, like the fireplace that shoots out fire, and there's like a baby lamb out of nowhere. I don't understand that. If you guys understand what happened there, please let me know. And then Tom Bombadil's like, yeah, you're not the first Ishtarian or wizard that I've taught. And then Gandalf's like, well, what's going to happen? Am I going to take on the flame, or am I going to have to go take on Sauron? And Tom Bombadil's like, yeah, both. And I was like, both. Like, I guess Tom Bombadil means he's going to have to fight the Sauron, and then he's going to have to fight Gandalf, or sorry, Sauron. Okay, I guess these characters are going to come into contact with what's going to happen, with Galadriel, and I guess. Okay, not necessary, but all right. Then we cut to Galadriel and Elrond just cutting through a couple of where there's tombs and everything, and that's where they find where the other dead messengers died, and they're like, yeah, this place is evil. Then we get some barrow-wights approaching, coming out. They try taking them down. Obviously, their weapons don't work on them, which would suck to be honest. But I honestly had no idea how they're gonna get out of this. But there's this one scene where like these chains reach out, grab red shirt black elf, and drag him into a tomb, and you hear his body just get crushed and munched and blood spurt out. And I was like, wow, dang, all right. I thought it would be one of the white dudes that get killed, but nah. And then Elrond figures out, all right, we gotta. He breaks open one of the tombs and he gets weapons, gives it to everyone. Like, all right. And then they get their weapons and they start killing the barrow-wights. And he says, yeah, the weapon they were buried with is the only thing that could kill them. Okay, that's something. But why would a weapon buried with this barrow-wight affect the other barrow-wights when he said that the weapons they're buried with? Whatever. That's stupid, but whatever. And then they continue on, and then we cut to Black Elf from the last season as he finds out that it wasn't orcs or anything that captured Theo. I don't know why I remember his name. They captured Theo and them, and then he realized, okay, yeah, something else happened. And then they go to talk to Then he goes to go talk to Isildur and Isildur's love interest. I don't remember her name. I don't care to look it up. And Isildur's love interest and Isildur, they kind of talk with each other, which is like a little nice moment. I'm not gonna lie. As you know, he's saying, yeah, there's this one scene where, okay, before that, she says, yeah, you can miss the spot because he washed his face, and she wipes it, and I was like, okay, that's cute. And then he's like, she's like, do you guys have a lot of water where you're at? And Isildur, I couldn't freaking. Have you guys seen Boba Fett? Have you seen Boba Fett? The scene where they bring up water and Boba Fett says, "I grew up surrounded by water," and I really really wish Isildur said that because he said, "Yeah, there's water in all the homes." I was hoping he'd say, "Yeah, I grew up surrounded by water." I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And then Black Elk comes up and he's like, "Hey, you know more than what you're telling." And then she tries running away, and he easily catches her, and he pulls down the back of her shirt, shows that there's a brand that's been messed with. And yeah, it seems like okay, yeah, sure. And then they go to the woods, just Black Elf, Isildur, and Isildur's love interest. I don't know why they don't bring anyone else, but why not? And then Isildur is just angry at her. He's like, "Yeah, so you planning on betraying us or something like that?" Which I get, like, okay, yeah, I would be pretty angry too. But you guys did kind of get along pretty well. But then you remember, well, she did stab him in the leg. It's possible she did think he was an orc. What? I'd be pretty angry about that too. We cut to Theodo, Theo, and some of the other wild men, in the trap where there's like obviously holes they could fit through. I guess they don't feel like climbing because there's a long way down. I was like, okay, that's fair. Whatever. And then we cut to Black Elf again and Isildur and Isildur's love interest, and Isildur falls into a pit of quicksand, and Black Elf tries to help him, but then they get both pulled in. And here's a good moment here that could have been actually really really good here. That gives us characterization for Isildur's love interest because she's shackled. She runs off, grabs a branch, and sticks into the mud. Hopefully, that Black Elf could grab and help pull them out. And I'll admit here, I was a little scared. I thought she was gonna have the strength enough to pull them out. That's not what happens. A massive worm that looks like it came out of from Peter Jackson's King Kong comes out, and it's about to attack her, but its stomach gets split open, and Black Elf does a cool pose as he jumps out, and Isildur is just kind of on the ground. And there could have been a good scene here where they could have noticed she had a branch that she was actually coming out to help them both, but they don't acknowledge that. What happens instead is Isildur's like, "What is that?" And Black Elf is like, "There are some things, nameless things, that are unknown in this world." As he looks at the camera and goes, and I was like, yeah, whatever. Again, I know meta knowledge. And he's also like, this is also supper. And he's as you see the piece of meat still continuing to squirm. I ain't eating that. Like, screw that. If the meat's still squirming, no. But they have a good laugh on that, so that's what really matters. Then we cut to good old where the hobbits are, and then where here's another moment. I was like, okay, a little consistent with season one, where sassy Hobbit is like, we're not hobbits. Where I don't freaking remember what they call themselves. I don't know why she has her own son tied up with them. That's weird. But all right, and she's like, um, yeah, we got to kick you out of the village. And female Frodo's like, you know what? If you were in our village, our black hobbit would have kicked you out too. And she says his name. I don't remember now. I think it's Sadak or Sadak. I don't remember. And she's like, wait, did you say? And then she takes female Frodo to a wall where it's prophesized that a hobbit will find the Shire. Man, these stars tell the hobbits everything. Then they get message that the leprosy guys are here, and they're like, "Oh shoot, we gotta go talk to them." And the leprosy guys, I don't know why he does this. He's backhands Black Hobbit, and then he helps her back up, which is weird. Like, why? He should have done that. Like, if I had a as funny as it was, they did. I didn't see that coming. He should have done that after she told him no, there's no like the other hobbits aren't here. So he could like the reason I think he could have done that is he could have smacked her and says like he could have said it'll get way worse than that if you're lying to us or something like that instead of just smack. All right, are the hobbits here? No, that was stupid and dumb. And because she does eventually say yeah, those hobbits they're not here. And again, her son is hiding with them. Why? He's not one of the hobbits the leprosy guys are looking for. Stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid. And then they go, and then Elrond and Galadriel are talking by a lake, and I guess they just put a bunch of rocks and stab red shirt black elf sword into the rocks, and she's like, you know what? When the time comes, I hopefully you can realize the rings could be useful, and yeah, and then we cut to the next scene of oh my, why is this episode so long? Then we cut to Isildur is gonna unshackle the his love interest is the shackles, but before he could do that, she pulls the sword out and says, "No matter what, you guys aren't going to trust me." See, and that's when it could have come down to in the last scene with them when she had the log. They could have saw that she had the log. Because why are they help? Why do they trust her now? They didn't see that. They didn't see. He didn't see. Black Elf and Theodore didn't see her trying to help them. They didn't see that. We saw it. They didn't. So why would they trust her? I don't know. Who knows? But right here, she's like, yeah, no matter what, even if you free me, they're not going to trust me. They're going to chase me out or probably kill me. And Isildur's like, don't worry. I'll trust you. I'll keep you safe. And then Black Elf has an arrow pointed at her. And it's like, okay, I mean, yeah, she's going to lose. But then they start hearing wood noises moving. And then we get ents. We get a male and female ent. And the female ent hits Isildur's love interest. And she goes and slams against a freaking rock. And then her brains and blood and just shoots out everything. And I was like, whoa, dang. She's alive, by the way. Don't worry about it. And then Isildur runs to her, and the ant's gonna step on her. And this is exactly how Isildur looks at the ant to stop it. Like that. That's exactly. I got a chuckle. I was like, what? So yeah. Anyway, then Isildur, or sorry, then Black Elf starts talking to the ants in Elvish. And he's like, and then the Ents are mad because they're like, did you ever cut a tree down? And he says, yeah, yeah. And I was thinking he should lie, but then his armor looks like it's made of wood. So I was like, yeah, that probably wouldn't have worked out well. Then she tries killing him. And then the other Ent wakes up and he's like, hey, what's going on here? And what is that for? And he points to the sword and he's like, that's meant for orc slaying. And then he tells you, you know what, we're trying to save our friends, and this and that. And the Ents are like, oh, okay. And then they go free Theo and the other wild men. And then we see Isildur is tending to Isildur's love interest. And they're about to kiss. And then Isildur's love interest comes up and just gives her like a big smooch and everything. And Isildur is like kind of sad about that. And then like the guy that starts smooching her, he looks like Alfred from The Hobbit. Like from the side profile view, he looks exactly like Alfred. And I was like, what the heck? And I got a chuckle out of that because I was laughing. He didn't have the unibrow, but he looked like him. Oh my! The Isildur walks away sadly, and then Theo's like, you know what, Black Elf, thank you. And Black Elf's like, I kept my promise. Then we get this. Then we cut to freaking Galadriel, and then we see a scene where a bunch of orcs are marching. And remember, we're supposed to be sympathetic for these orcs because all they want is a home. As they're marching, growling, blood spilling from their mouth, and there's hissing. Anyway, and then the elves are like, okay, yeah, we gotta definitely go back and tell Gilgalad, we gotta tell Celebrimbor that the armories of the what do they call it? How do they call it? No, it's called Mordor. They should still refer to it as the Southlands. And then the orcs, for whatever reason, are shooting arrows at a. No, I get why they're shooting arrows at the horse, but for whatever reason, a stray arrow hits one of the elves, and then the orcs are able to smell blood like the sharks in the ocean. Like he instantly smells it, and then Galadriel like heals the elf's wound with her ring, and yeah, like okay, sure. I with the lore, I don't know if that's possible with these rings, but I'm like, okay, sure, why not? The rings could do that. And yeah, then Galadriel's like, here, take the ring. She gives it to Elrond, and she's like, I'll go fight them off. And I'm like, yeah, makes sense. She's more than capable of slaying an army of orcs. Then she goes off, fights them, does actually pretty well, which you expect. But then the script is like, nah, you get defeated right here. She gets knocked off a horse. She gets her arrow ready to fire, and Adar grabs the arrow as she has it drawn back, and he says something in Elvish, and I was like, okay, yeah, sure. And then it ends. The episode ends, and I was like, freaking finally! So yeah, this episode's pretty bad. Again, some scenes look good. There's some little nuggets of things that are like, oh, okay, and then some other things that just weren't great. Overall, the show, sorry, this episode is pretty bad. If I had to rate it, probably 3 out of 10. It was pretty bad, but not the worst I've seen so far. Yeah, again, a lot of plot armor, a lot of inconsistencies, and characters should die. A lot of characters should die. But yeah, I'm thinking about making it 2, but for now, it's going to be a 3. So if you listen this far, I appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a great day. Take care. And yeah, if you came to watch me suffer, I sure did. Anyway, have a good one.